wallet, just like that.
Sign up now and we'll match your deposit up to $1,500. Or you can get a risk-free bet up to $1,000.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older in Michigan to play.
Laugh till it hurts at the Traverse City Comedy Club. National and regional comedians bringing the laughs every Friday and Saturday. Add in something delicious from their hearty menu, a specialty drink or your favorite brew, and you've got a great change to your old routine. See the season schedule and buy tickets at TraverseCityComedyClub.com or rent the club for your private event for up to 150 people. Traverse City Comedy Club on Garfield Avenue, where Northern Michigan goes for fun.
It's time for the Northern Michigan High School Sports Scoreboard Show on Up North Sports Radio with your host, Rich Calkins.
Presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio. Rich Calkins and Chad Patterson in studio with you today. Chad, thanks for coming in today. Chad, of course, is the play-by-play voice of the Grayling Vikings.
Well, I'm not, I haven't done any work really in the last couple of weeks because of all the snow days and postponements and everything else like that. So being able to talk high school basketball is going to be kind of nice for a change because I haven't gotten to do that. And it's an honor to do it with you, Rich Calkins, the color analyst for the TC West Titans.
Well, thanks, buddy. It's and speaking of that, of course, play-by-play man J.J. Rowell, my broadcast partner, him and I went up to Gaylord last night as the Titans were looking to improve upon their 10-2 record. Woo. And got by a tough, gritty Gaylord team, 69-61. It was a real interesting game.
Barn burner.
It was 13 apiece at the end of one, and then West just persevered, and that was with being down two key players. One of their starters twisted an ankle the week prior against Petoskey, and one of their key subs twisted an ankle 2 weeks ago and was still not ready. So really other people stepped up, and we do have the post-game interview with Coach Doug Bauman here next. And as you'll know, Coach Bauman really excited with the win on the road.
Welcome to the Source Julian post-game show. Rich Calkins along with head coach Doug Bauman. Coach, there's no easy ones in the Big North.
There aren't, and we knew coming in here they've got a great student section. We know that they always played hard, and we know that 22 there on Gaylord is always a bucket machine at times, but I was really, really proud of both Lincoln and Winslow, how they handled him. He did make shots, but they were all contested. He had very few uncontested shots, and that was just a huge factor in our success. And then you got these two guys behind me that took care of business when they needed to, made some big shots, made some crucial layups to kind of extend that lead, and knocked down some free throws. Real proud of these boys.
Like you said, Coach, you were without Mason Zimmerman and Quentin Gillespie tonight, so you needed other kids to step up big time, and obviously Caden Soups and Gunnar Canty also really provided some quality minutes.
Gunnar played great minutes, had a couple good buckets for us, rebounded, boxed out really well, just really made him a factor in what they did. I thought our sophomores that came up from JV played really well. Drew Esper gave us some great minutes in the first half there, and then Blake came in and gave us some really good minutes. Big crucial three in the corner, down the stretch there, but overall just a great effort by these boys, especially when we move the ball. It's a different game for us.
It is. What does it say, though, about those kids that mainly play on junior varsity and they come up to pressure moments on the varsity level and aren't afraid? Yeah. You know what I mean? I love their confidence.
And, as sophomores, you love to see that.
Yes.
And, it's an aspect of you talk as coaches every year, you bring up them on varsity, but not necessarily get them the minutes that we think they can get,
Right.
And so they've really stepped up and showed their ability, especially with, like you said, Mason down and Quentin down. So big minutes for them coming off the bench. But like I said, you got leaders like these guys coming up, it makes a big difference.
In that pressure defense, it looked like it finally frustrated. I knew eventually you might get to them. In that fourth quarter, it looked like it finally got to Gaylord, and you were able to stretch out that lead just a little bit.
I was real happy. I thought we looked very fresh. we worked hard a lot. I thought we worked a lot harder in the third and fourth quarter than we did in the first and second quarters, and that was the difference. I did think that they kind of just looked tired, and that was just from our defense hounding them and getting there and beating them to the spot. Like I said, Lincoln in the second half just did a phenomenal job on Gilo there, and just overall real happy with our play, and getting a road win at Gaylord is always good.
It is, absolutely. They're hard to come by, so we'll definitely take it. Well, at that time, Coach, our Fox Motors motivated player of the game, we think Gunnar Canty, unofficially double figures with 10 points. When you could get, the amount of rebounds you got from Gunnar, and really, providing that big body down low really was pivotal for the win tonight.
When he can score for us, that brings a big aspect of how other teams have to defend us. Yeah. We know they know we can shoot threes, they know we can attack, and we weren't hitting a lot of the shots early on that we normally do, but we just stayed with it. I was real happy with our ball movement in the second half, and a lot of those step-ins were Gunnar's, and he finished tonight. And then, like I said, Ben had a couple good takes towards the stretch that really extended that lead, and then Caden stepping into that starting role for Quinn tonight really showed up and really led the way for us, and I know it's just going to keep continuing to grow from there.
Right. Coach, you get the privilege of naming the Jimmy John's player of the game.
It's going to be Caden Stoops for us tonight. I think he was our high scorer with 17.
That's what I have him on.
And just made some big shots for us, free throws down the stretch. I don't think that, in a game like this, there could be anybody else but Caden. So.
Right. Excellent choices, Coach. Another big win, moved to 11-2. We have a week off again. Now, very highly rated, tough, undefeated as of going in tonight. Dearborn High team comes to West.
Yes, and we'll watch some film on them and be ready. But again, if we can get in there and compete like we normally do, I think it'll be a very competitive game for us. And then we turn around and play Sparta at the Cadillac Jeff McDonald Invitation on Saturday. But we'll get ready for Dearborn, give them a couple days off, watch those Lions, hopefully get a W on Sunday, and come back at it hard on Monday. So
sounds good, Coach. We'll pass that microphone along to one of your players here, and congratulations on the win. All right, Caden Stoops, high scorer tonight, unofficially 17 points. Caden, did you know coming into this game, Caden, we were getting a start tonight, also with Quentin being down and also Mason, that you were going to be counted on to take on more of a scoring load?
Oh, for sure. With them out, I knew I needed to step up and be an influence defensively and also offensively, and I really just focus on getting to the hoop more, which I usually am not doing. I'm usually a three-point shooter, but awesome to contribute on three-pointers and...
Well, you guys know, you guys have played for Coach Bauman long enough. You know you won't play very long if you don't play tough defense. Yep. So, but to go along not only offensively, like you said, the defensive end is really where you earn your quality minutes.
Yep, for sure. Just helping off of Gilo. We know he's going to make those shots. We know he's going to make those tough shots. So being able to help off of Winslow and Lincoln, who also did an amazing job on him.
They did, yeah, and I thought that helped side defense a couple times.
Yep.
Got him frustrated a few times, and but no, he's a phenomenal player, no doubt about it. Well, congratulations, Caden, on being the Jimmy John's player of the game. So you have some Jimmy John's coupons coming your way.
Awesome.
So use those. I'm sure you will as a growing young man.
Yes, I am.
So pass that along to your teammate, Ben Hobbers. Ben, as a senior here, super senior Ben Hobbers, coming in unofficially. I had you at 16 tonight, Ben. What a win. All road wins in the Big North. You'll take it, right?
For sure. The refs aren't amazing at those road games.
It is. I know you do at times seem to have to overcome all kinds of challenges, and we saw that here last year at one time. We saw as one got away from us last year. But again, Ben, a couple of kids down, same question for you. Other kids need to step up, and of course, and they had to step up, but you had to do your usual as well. And so you were able in that second half, really, that scoring really came on strong.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out our sophomores that came in and did well. That was huge for us, and it was fun seeing them do well.
It is. It's to watch a lot of JV games like we're able to do and the success that they have, and then just not miss a beat stepping up to varsity. That's really cool to see.
For sure.
All right, Ben, congratulations. A senior here, you guys are 11-2 now. I talked to Coach Bauman there. A really good, highly rated Dearborn team comes to West. next Friday night. Really looking forward to that game. You looking forward to the challenge?
For sure, yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
It is going to be a fun one. Ben Haberts, congratulations on the great season thus far. Continued success.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
All right, that was the post-game interview last night with Coach Doug Ballman and a couple of the players, Caden Stoops and Ben Haberts, with that big road win, 69-61 over a tough Gaylord team. And I tell you, Chad, Luke Gilo, you've seen him play for Gaylord, and
he's good.
I've seen he's real good. 6'3", 6'4", left-hander, smooth as silk. He was hitting fall-away threes last night with regularity. We had two of our best defenders in his grill all night long, and he kept draining threes, and they were contested. They weren't freebies. They were contested, and that guy put on a show.
Well, he can get his. You just got to shut down everybody else.
That's right.
And that's what happens a lot in the Lake Michigan Conference, and I'm sure in your conference where it's like the Big North, you have to – there's a lot of star players out there, and you can't stop them. You can only hope to contain them. But
I said that last night, by the way.
It is one of those things where it's like, okay, let him get his. Yep. That's okay. It's and you have to find a way to shut down that secondary star or that. Right. There's 3 kids for Grayling, and the first time you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to take Fletcher Quinlan out of the game. Well, that's when Tristan and Ethan have to step up, and that. And speaking of stepping up, man, I'll tell you what, with Gillespie and Zimmerman out of the game, and do we have a return date for them, or when they're coming back?
Hard to see. Hard to say right now. We don't. Yeah, with those ankles, it can be tricky. Zimmerman might be back. He's been out a couple of weeks now. He might be back for that Dearborn game next Friday night. Dearborn comes to
11-0,
8th in Division One. Yeah,
okay.
And we've played them each year, so I've got a chance to see them. That's a good ball team. They are fast. They've got some serious height, and they get up and down the court. So what a test for West. As again, with that win last night, they moved to 11-2. They did get 1 vote in the honorable mention voting. For that, Cadillac is in honorable mention. Of course, Cadillac stayed undefeated last night with another win. But that's Cadillac again. Just a couple of students above the line, the enrollment line, so they creeped up into Division I this year after being Division II for a long time.
And Cadillac has a great program.
Oh, they do.
I don't have to tell you that. Yeah,
Benzenberg
is a great coach. Always runs a great program. And you said Caden Stoops unofficially 17 points.
Yes.
Very cool. And it's always cool to watch the sophomores step up. They talked about Drew Esper, is it?
Yeah, Drew Esper, yes.
Does he play JV, or is he on the varsity?
He plays JV, but he's one of those fifth-quarter kids that what's really cool is he started every game on varsity football this year as a sophomore. It was an all Saginaw Valley.
Great athlete.
Oh, really good athlete. His dad's the principal at the school.
I thought the name sounded familiar. Okay.
Yes, and his sister plays varsity basketball for the ladies, of course. And so the kid's a good all-around athlete. And so for him to come up and get some quality minutes. Also, Blake Lefebvre is another kid that is a sophomore, came up, quality minutes to help fill in those spots that with Gillespie out in Zimmerman. So those guys and I mentioned it in the post-game interview, I love the confidence that they're able to come into high-pressure environments on the varsity level, and it's like they've been playing varsity their whole career. They're not scared. They don't change their game because of its varsity now. They have the confidence they can do what they've been doing at the JV level.
Well, me and Scott always say that they look the part,
they
right?
Do,
so
yes.
like Nausatis for Traverse City St. Francis. I remember him starting as a freshman and going, no, this kid's a freshman in college.
Yes.
Forget about a freshman in high school. There's no way. At 14 years old, I couldn't tie my shoes. And these kids come in and they look the part. And it's just Connor Flynn, too, from Harbor Springs. I mean, that kid came in, all the confidence in the world, and just head up, looking, and no deer in the headlight look for him. I mean, those kids are going. Jack Neer was another one from Boyne City. When he came in as a freshman, I mean, just, they play with that confidence. So it's cool that you guys are able to see that at Traverse City West, too.
And I think overall big umbrella type look at things, Chad, is that I think they play so much basketball now in the travel leagues, the AAU stuff and all that they're used to playing high-level competition in the off-season, during that time. So when it's their time to shine up on varsity or whatever, it's not too big for them. And they
the stage is never too big.
Never too big. They're just able to go, and I credit it to that. Like Christian Demlo for Grayling.
Oh, so good.
That kid as a freshman got some time at varsity without the size of a Wyatt Nausatis and things like that.
Yeah, and you saw the growth of Tristan too through AAU, through camps and everything else throughout the year. He kind of made basketball his career, as far as high school goes, as far as high school sports. Because I remember he was a great 8th grade football player, wide receiver. He's catching passes from Corbin Allen, and didn't play football, and really concentrated on basketball, and it shows. I mean, his growth and stepping up. I mean, he's one of the best point guards in the Lake Michigan Conference, and that is hard work and not being afraid of those bright lights like you were talking about.
Is he just a junior, Chad?
He's a junior, yeah.
Junior, yep. Okay, yep. So that's okay, good deal. No, so again, that the Big North Conference there, Chad, of course, leading it right now. Of course, Cadillac at 11-0 overall, 6-0 in conference play. They are the leaders. And
has West played them yet?
We did. We played them tough. Lost to them by like 8 or 10 at home. We played them again.
Yeah, one more.
Down there, and that's why West is 5-1 in league play, 11-2 overall.
That should be a full gym.
It
and
should
Cadillac
be, for sure.
for those two teams.
And again, the Cadillac, they have a true crow's nest at Cadillac to call the game from. So you go up the sharp ladder thing up above the gym, and you literally look down at the game.
Are the coins giving you damage pay?
No, it's all good. That's one of those games when you go to that one, you do that one for free. Not officially. That's unofficial also, by the way. So, but just a good time. Petoskey is sitting in third at 6-6. Gaylord at 4-8, and Gaylord's now on a 5-game losing streak. They had won 4 in a row, and then going into last night, they had lost 4 in a row, so I thought they'd be really hungry, and they were. But we just eventually, the West defense just wore them down. And
that's what wins conference championships and into districts and regionals, all that good stuff is defense.
It does.
And when I was reading about Dearborn taking out Belleville, Dearborn is West.
Right.
I read, it was all defense. It was it was a 10-point game, and Belleville second in that, the KLA, Kensington Lakes Activities Association East Conference, and Belleville came in kind of looking for, hey, let's see what we can do. Let's see where we are.
Belleville known for great football programs.
Oh, man, so good. And, in Dearborn, he just stifled with the defense. So I think that'll be a good matchup for West and a good test for West.
Yeah, no doubt about it when you step up that competition. All right, well, we're going to go to our first commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to hopefully be talking to L.J. Mead, head coach of the Grayling Vikings. You're listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio.
The weather is brought to you by Pioneer Hills Marine. Winter is finally here. Is your snowmobile ready? Pioneer Hills Marine offers pre-season maintenance and carries parts, accessories, and clothing. Stop by Pioneer Hills Marine in Roscommon. We're more than just boats.
I'm Doppler 9 and 10 Chief Meteorologist Tom O'Hare. Here is today's forecast. Still a bit snowy in our western lower counties. Looking for another 1 to 3 inches, maybe 4 in a couple of spots before diminishing later on this afternoon. Up around the UP, western Brimley, another 1 to 2 inches possible. But for everyone else, pretty much some sunshine and clouds and high temperatures. Not very warm, but better than the last couple days. Highs will be in the teens and 20s. Later on tonight, talking about partly cloudy skies. Lows dropping down the teens and single digits. And your Sunday, partly cloudy, temperatures 20s. Going into Monday, partly cloudy flurries, 20s and 30s. And for Tuesday, looking a bit snowy right now with highs in 20s and 30s. I'm Doppler 9 to 10 Chief Meteorologist Tom O'Hare.
Hi, this is Bill Marsh Jr. Introducing the new eMarsh custom purchase experience at BillMarsh.com. eMarsh makes car buying fast and easy. Choose your vehicle and options, get an accurate trade-in value, calculate your monthly payment choices, and apply for credit. You can even schedule at-home or at-work test drives and deliveries. Start your eMarsh experience at billmarsh.com. eMarsh. Welcome to easy. And thank you.
The Traverse City Record Eagle supports WCMU Public Radio in Traverse City with Total Access Record Eagle subscriptions. Total Access means home delivery of the printed paper, plus on-demand access to local and breaking news and other community publications online or on the app. Find out more at record-eagle.com/subscriptions or call 231-946-2187. That's 231-946-2187. The Traverse City Record Eagle proudly serves 13 counties in northwestern Lower Michigan.
The five-man electrical jam. Tesla. Tesla. Coming at you live Friday, March 15th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $44 and are on sale now at the box office and online at etix.com. Party hard, rock harder. Tesla. Friday, March 15th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio. Rich Calkins and Chad Patterson in studio with you this morning. And joining us now is head coach of the Grayling boys basketball team, L.J. Mead. L.J., thanks for joining us here on a cold Saturday morning.
Good morning, and thanks for doing something to do on a cold Saturday morning.
Well, you bet. I know that you're a big Lions fan. You're prepping for that tomorrow, Coach. But first, let's talk a little high school basketball. You guys played Kalkaska this week. You had a 10-point victory, but more importantly, you held Kalkaska down to 38 points.
Yeah, we kind of a difficult for us, especially the fact that we've had very few games. And so with two cancellations last week, we finally got on the court and were able to play. And we got off to a really slow start against their zone. Got some wide open three-pointers that we didn't convert. And once we started attacking the hoop a little bit more, and then second quarter knocked down some outside shots, things started to roll for us and got a little more comfortable. But defensively, we were able to hold them down to 38, and I was proud of the boys.
Yeah, this is Chad, of course. I was at the game. There was a little. I haven't been to a lot of games this season, so kind of surprising. But I talked a little bit to Maddox Mead after the game. He was our player of the game with 13 big points and great defense. But we talked a little bit about rust. You talked about the two cancellations. It's not often that you get an entire week off, especially this close to Christmas break. I mean, that had to seem like a real bummer to the team. I mean, I know you're chomping at the bit to get out there. And, he talked a little bit about that rust coming off. I thought the substitutions, and I know that you're down one of your sophomores, Daniel Hunter, he's still got that ankle. But Austin Schwartz and Leo Bertoncello came in and really gave you guys a huge spark and kind of woke up the team. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, for sure. Leo is a spark plug defensively for us. He's still trying to understand completely our offensive concepts, but defensively, man, he's tough. He's gritty. He is physical, and he doesn't give you any. I mean, sometimes defensively he's just suffocating. He gives you no space. And so when he came in, that was exactly what he did. And then Austin Schwartz, we've been playing him as a power forward at the 4 spot. And with Daniel Hunter's injury, we've had to slide him over to the 5 spot and at the backup center behind Caleb Hall. And he's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. And I'm going to be honest, he probably wasn't ready, and he knows this to come up and play varsity level, but we needed him based on personnel, and he's starting to play much better for us, and I'm happy for him. He's starting to feel comfortable, and on Tuesday he definitely made the most of his minutes for sure.
Well, comfortable is the key word there, Coach, because, I mean, really, that's kind of what I noticed about him early on in the season. He kind of seemed a little bit hesitant at times, and I thought against Kalkaska the other night he had kind of found that comfort level in which he could do a lot of different things. He came in and grabbed a couple of rebounds right off the bat, got some deflections, and really got himself into the game. So I was proud of the kid. As you know, I've known I've known that grade level since 5th grade. Been working with him, and I mean, he is not in basketball, but at the school level, and he really impressed me. So I thought it was his best game so far, and I look for big things for he and Daniel going forward.
Yeah, I would agree that, I think it was his best outing so far, and hopefully it's just, onward and upward with some busy weeks coming up. We got 3 games next week, and Daniel Hunter in practice, you mentioned him, he's been able to do a little bit more, and, he had it was a bad high ankle sprain, and, it's just a tough one to come back from, and that was before break against Overmont. Last game before break, and so we're looking and hoping, fingers crossed that we get to see him back on the court this week.
Yeah, LJ, when especially with high school kids, once they get into a rhythm of playing games every couple of nights, of course they love that. That's their time to shine and to play and show off to people how hard they've been working. Do you change anything up in practice when you have like cancellations and then you go for a long stretch in between actual ball games?
Yeah, we've tried to get creative doing a couple things. We tried to do some team bonding. They had a spaghetti dinner and ping pong and pool over at Coach K's house last night, and then we got together and watched the national championship game at my place with the boys for. Just to have some time to do some things outside of basketball. But, last minute cancellation last Friday, we were supposed to be in Elk Rapids. And so we just got them on the court for an hour, got shots up, and then we did 4-minute quarters and played 4-minute quarter games. And each quarter we had something different from the work on. And then the fourth quarter, we allowed them to coach themselves and decide what they wanted to do on both ends of the court, and so we just, that was super competitive, literally right down to the last play, and I think the green squad eked out a come from behind victory, and then again we did something similar to that yesterday, and just trying to replicate it as we lost. We originally scheduled to play Traverse City St. Francis on Friday, and they had another commitment, so we only had the one Tuesday game at Kalkaska, so but it's gonna catch up next week. We got 3 of them at Boyne City, at Elk Rapids, and then finishing up at our place versus Charlevoix, which is just having a phenomenal year. So that's going to be our coaches versus cancer game. So kids are looking forward to getting back on the court, and I know they're excited for the upcoming week. We've talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a gauntlet next week. You just laid it out, and really, I mean, the Lake Michigan Conference is anybody's ball game at this point. I mean, yes, there are a bunch of teams kind of fighting for that top spot, but all of the teams in the middle, which I would put you guys in 2-2 in the conference right now. I mean, everybody still has a shot with a lot of games left to play, and you could make some hay this week.
Yeah, this is at this point still, I believe, anybody's league. I know Traverse City and Charlevoix both with 1 loss, but it really is anybody's league. And without putting any pressure on us, this is a big week. Back-to-back road trips to Boyne City and Elk Rapids, who we're right in the mix with. And then finishing out the week, like I said, against Charlevoix, who is in first place in the league. So it is a big week for our kids, and they know it. Based off of Thursday, we didn't Friday off. We're going to go back in Sunday. We ended Thursday's practice, and there seemed to be a lot of enthusiasm for the week ahead. So.
Good deal. And I know we don't want to look too far ahead, but am I right? You guys have 4 games the week of February 12th now?
No, just 3. So originally we were only scheduled for, I believe, 1 game that was going to be a makeup week in case we needed it, and so we do play East Jordan, I believe, on that Monday, and then we play Traverse City, and then a game that was originally scheduled. So we did put 2 games into that week, so now it's going to be a 3-game week for us.
Okay. I just wanted to check that against my schedule and see what we had.
Right. Hey, LJ, you guys are 6-4, almost at the halfway point of the season. What are some things that you really like about this team, and then what are some things you'd like to see the team improve on?
I think just consistency probably is the biggest thing holding us back right now. If we look at a couple of our kids, probably haven't played up to their ability. Maybe a little too much pressure on themselves, and so we just haven't been super consistent. We go out, put out a game where we against Charlotte, like I said, mentioned before, where their one loss in the season is us, and we're playing really solid, and shots are falling and so forth. And so I think probably the biggest thing is consistency and confidence for us. And what I like about this group is I still think that, man, we can be an explosive offensive group and things are rolling for us. We've seen it in practice. And I also think it's an experienced group that plays really well together. And when the ball moves for us, I think we're a tough out. And if we handle pressure like we're capable of, and like we're starting to see again in practice, I think we're going to be right in the mix and be right in line with our team goals.
I absolutely agree with you, Coach, and I think that is probably the upshot of your team. The potential is absolutely there. Like you said, you see it in practice. We've seen it in spurts, and I'm so glad you said the word consistency, because if these guys put it all together and they play to their potential, I mean, it's sky's the limit for you guys. I think this team is as talented as your regional championship team. They're experienced. Some of these players played at that game, I believe. And, I mean, like, they could really compete for this conference, and really if they just that confidence level has got to move up a little bit too. And so I couldn't have said it better myself. Who is the player, though, that has made probably the biggest leap for you from last season to this season so far?
I think for one guy that stands out is Caleb Hall. We've gotten a lot out of Caleb. He does so many nice things for us. He's just such a smart kid, and maybe doesn't always put up numbers that are going to blow you away in terms of points and stats. However, he just does so many nice things. Backside screen action, sets up flare screens, just sets up his teammates, leads our team in charges. So he's a kid that does, the little things that maybe don't necessarily go, in terms of crowd and watching the game or go a little bit unseen. But for us, we reward that stuff with Gatorades, and they know, as a team that he is just super valuable. Doing a great job, when we're applying pressure and some of our pressure defenses from the back end, and just communicating and seeing the floor. And he's just taking on a leadership role, and I'm just really proud of him. Where he's farther ahead than what I would have thought, and we're getting more out of him than what maybe I would have really thought. And so he would be the one that I would say there. I think some of the other guys have more left on the table that we're going to see in the second half. There's been games where I feel like Maddox, nice meat, has played really well for us and probably played and given us more better minutes than maybe we thought as well. And with his defensive pressure, his ability to get hands on balls, deflections, steals, and then get out and run the floor. So those would be the two guys that I think have given us more minutes and more than what maybe we thought coming into the season.
Well, we gave Maddox the player of the game the other night, and when it came up for the interview, I said, hey, man, your game was just top-notch tonight, all except that one free throw. So.
Yeah, we watched that the next day in film. When he got home, I was like, dude, stop shitting like your mom. And he's like, what? And I go, that free throw, what happened? And he just shaking his head. So he good and took it in the game. I was glad that in the moment he laughed it off, had a smile on his face, and then knocked down the next one. But we've given him a little grief about that. And then in practice the next day when we were working on the free throws, I might have walked by doing a little air ball chant to see how mentally tough he could be. And so we've had some little fun with it.
Well, in Kalkaska, he's probably lucky that it wasn't on the other end where the student section is, because it was in the second half. So Rich, just so you know, he missed the front of the rim by about 8 inches.
Yeah,
so,
that's very atypical of Maddox there. But you know, LJ, you're doing a good job. It's going to be an exciting week of Grayling basketball with, again, playing Boyne City, Elk Rapids, and Charlevoix, like you said, ending the week back at home here. And again, all these games are going to can be heard over at Q100 with Chad Patterson and Scott Nicholas on the call. So thanks for joining us today. Best of luck all of next week, and go Vikings, Grayling Vikings, and go Detroit Lions.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys, and hopefully next time we're talking about some Viking successes. So.
All right.
Absolutely.
Sounds good, LJ. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, guys.
That was LJ Mead, of course, of the Grayling Vikings there. Always does a great job in sharing his opinions and the things that he's doing with the team, Chad. I was fortunate enough, my daughter played for LJ when he was the girls' coach.
Yeah.
And so that was awesome. So I got to know him really well during that time, and so that was really, really cool.
That was during the Rich Moffitt era, you know, where he had the boys program locked down for like 25 years or whatever.
Right.
So,
yeah.
It's LJ does a great job over there with the boys, and you know, he hit the nail right on the head with the Grayling Viking team. They are capable of winning this conference. They're capable of winning every game. It's consistency, because there are streaks of their play where they all play together. They play so well. And he made another point about when they're moving the ball.
Yeah.
When they're moving the ball, that is when they are at their best. And Tristan Demlow, the junior guard that we talked about earlier, he's the wheel, you know, like if he gets going and he's able to drive and dish, you know, it's sky's the limit, because there are some guys on that team, Maddox being one of them, Ethan Kaharick being another, that can knock down those shots. And Fletcher Quinlan is kind of the key player, I think, for this Grayling Viking team. He's absolutely capable of being all conference in the Lake Michigan Conference, and just getting that confidence to know that he can go to the rack every time. I mean, he's got the athletic ability. He's one of my favorite players to watch, but he's been a little hesitant this year, and I think in the second half of the season, you know, it's going to be Quinlan time, you know, and really I look for big things from him. And just everything the coach has said about Caleb Hall is absolutely true.
You need those kind of players that aren't in it for
does the dirty work.
Yep. None of this stuff, that stuff that stands out on the court, the people that really know basketball, but the kid's not getting a bunch of the shine because it's not points or rebounds or this or that. But setting screens and playing tough defense, that's so valuable for the success of a team.
And he's asked to play the 5, and he's probably, you know, he's not as tall as the other 5s in the Lake Michigan Conference at all. And, you know, he's a defensive lineman on the football team, a great defensive lineman. And but he gets down there and mixes it up and does a great job. His game reminds me a lot of like Sparty Skillern.
Yeah.
When Sparty was here. Sparty had some inches on him, obviously, in height. But
similar games.
Yeah, just like doing the dirty work underneath, getting the rebounds and boxing out, taking the charges, doing those little things that you really need done. So, and that's the thing too, like as I'm saying it and as I'm talking about it, you know, it's like Grayling has all of those players to play those roles that you need. You need a guy scrapping underneath. You need a good 3-point shooter. You got that with Ethan Carrick. You need a guy who can slash.
Sometimes
and
it just takes time for them to gel, even though they've been playing together for a long time. And like Coach is probably, maybe they all were putting so much pressure on themselves to know that again that the Lake Michigan Conference was up for grabs and that they could potentially win it, that maybe they all just put all those pressures on themselves and they haven't been able to fulfill, to that level yet. But again, this week is absolutely huge.
Well, and I love the thing that he said too about the team bonding and stuff like that, and it's all about the experience, right? And having a ping pong tournament, watching the national championship together. What happened in that game, by the way? But no, I mean it's all of those things that you're doing as a team. That's going to lead to camaraderie. That's going to lead to trust. And trust is a huge thing, too, especially when you're trying to build that consistency. So that's just a good coaching move on LJ's part.
It is, absolutely.
And Coach Herrick and all those guys, that help out. I know Craig Hoffman has been a big part of their staff this year as well. Love Craig. Great guy. He was on those Moffitt
Craig's been
teams,
there a long time helping out as an assistant for sure. All right, when we come back, we'll have head coach MJ Ewald of the Roscommon Bucks. You're listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio.
Hi, this is Bill Marsh Jr. Introducing the new eMarsh Custom Purchase Experience at BillMarsh.com. eMarsh makes car buying fast and easy. Choose your vehicle and options. Get an accurate trade-in value. Calculate your monthly payment choices and apply for credit. You can even schedule at-home or at-work test drives and deliveries. Start your eMarsh experience at BillMarsh.com. eMarsh. Welcome to easy. And thank you.
Godsmack Unplugged. Saturday, April 27th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. The Vibes Tour, celebrating 25 years of their debut album. Tickets start at $69 and are on sale now at the box office and online at etix.com. Godsmack, raw, real, and untold stories. Saturday, April 27th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
What makes Benetham so special is that it's cozy and friendly enough to be your neighborhood hangout and distinctive enough to host special occasions and celebrations every day. That's why so many in the North will tell you that Benetham's is their favorite. Even the half-off happy hour menu has a dozen unique appetizers and cocktails. Visit Benethams.com to make your reservation and enjoy a dining experience that is truly unique. Benethams, for the true love of food.
Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio. Rich Calkins and Chad Patterson in studio with you today. We will be getting a hold of head coach MJ Ewald here in just a moment. But first, though, Chad, I thought we'd go over a few scores from last night's action. Really, certainly of the boys' action, not a ton of action around the North, but there are some girls' games as well that we wanted to go over. But starting off in the Big North Conference, Cadillac, as we talked about, they continue in their undefeated ways as they beat Traverse City Central 68-57, a game played at Cadillac.
Right, and that Cadillac team, Coach Benzenberg, right? I'm saying his name right? I just want to make sure I get it right. They play really, really good defense, and they got some talented players over there too, don't they?
When you start 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 6'5", and 6'5", that's their starting lineup. It is the tallest starting lineup across the board I've seen in a Northern Michigan team in a long, long time.
I was going to say in a Northern Michigan team.
Yes.
Forget about just the Big North Conference.
Yes.
I mean, that's all the way across the board. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So I mean, again, and the one thing, they're not really deep. They don't have a ton of bench play there. But the 5 that they put out there, they're pretty darn good, and they're going to be a lot of fun to continue to keep track of.
And I would imagine, being number 1 in the Big North Conference right now, getting, like you said, honorable mention in the state rankings and stuff like that. Is that an experienced team? They got a lot of senior-laden team, or?
Yeah, they do. Actually, one of their key seniors is the name escapes me. He's been playing since he was a sophomore. One of their 6'6" kids. But yeah, all of these kids. Their point guard is been playing since he was a sophomore. They're big guys. It's amazing that they have that great mix of seniors, but also enough juniors coming back to where they're going to reload again next year. And it's incredible how they consistently can put those guys with that kind of size out there. It's absolutely
It sounds
amazing.
like St. Francis. That's
yeah,
or Boyne. They just keep on reloading and keep Boyne. It's always like the brothers of the.
It is exactly. Certain names go with certain towns, and they'll stick there, and they'll always forever.
And
be
they'll
known.
always be talented. Yep,
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Of course, another game in the Big North, real quick. We talked about Traverse City West beat Gaylord 69-61. You did have an Alpena Petoskey score, right? Petoskey did win that game, right?
Petoskey did win, too, and it said that their star player, I couldn't find in the article the name of the star player for Petoskey, but he's out for the season now, but they did beat Alpena. Alpena, I guess, started out the game pretty well, had a good second quarter, and then just fell at the end, and Petoskey came up with that big win. But, yeah. So, but they lost a player, and they
okay. No, and Chad, in the Lake Michigan Conference, a conference you're very familiar with, Boyne City and East Jordan in a low-scoring affair, with Boyne City winning 45-28.
Yeah, and East Jordan is rebuilding. They're having a tough season. East Jordan usually has a pretty decent program. And, some teams just have those down years. East Jordan is having one right now. But, of course, those coaches always have their teams ready to go.
Right.
Boyne City probably got into, you said, a low-scoring affair. Maybe didn't hit some shots and, had to win kind of the ugly. But that's okay. A win is a win is a win, and they'll take it. So but Boyne City is one of those teams, like we were talking to Coach Mead about, it's like the Lake Michigan Conference kind of, yes, Elk Rapids is up there, St. Francis is up there, but Boyne City's one of those teams that can take it over. They're right there with them.
Yeah, for sure.
And they always are.
And what a night in Elk Rapids last night, with Elk beating Charlevoix 58-50, but besides that point, they had a Hall of Fame induction class come in for the first, I believe it's the first time. And, of course, Adam Troutman, for those people that don't know, was a third-round draft pick in the NFL draft about 3 years ago, and then got traded to the Denver Broncos. Anyway, he's a starting tight end in the NFL, and he was there last night to be able to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Well, I remember you texting me during the Denver-Detroit game,
yes.
And you texted me, you're like, Troutman went to Elk Rapids. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because, of course, the whole time, this was the first time that I had done an Elk Rapids Grayling football game, was this season.
Oh, really?
So I had never seen him play. I didn't. Elk Rapids was off my radar as far as football went, so I did not know who he was. And that is awesome, and a pretty darn good game for one of their current players. Haven Summers had 19 points, and we've been watching Haven for a couple of years. He has always played Grayling really, really tough, but always been kind of a bench player, role player.
Right.
And it sounds like he's kind of the star there this year. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. And in the last game in the Lake Michigan Conference from last night, Harbor Springs over Kalkaska 71-55.
Yeah, and Kalkaska, another team, they played Grayling tough on Tuesday night, and they do have some guys on their team. Ethan Schaub plays really, really well. I mean, just smooth as silk, can take the ball to the hole. But Elk Rapids, or not Elk Rapids, Harbor Springs has those two talented guards, and it's just you come up against Flynn. There's a Disney cartoon that has Flynn Rider as a character.
Oh, is that
and of
right?
course, I can't stop thinking about that when I'm doing the games, because that's their, Connor Flynn is the is the point guard, and man, everything goes through him. He had 26 points against Grayling, but they're so good. And they have a forward named Colin Lang, who was actually their player of the game when we played him, and he's talented too. So they're not just those two guards. I mean, they have some other guys that can shoot from the outside and can do all the all the dirty work underneath the ball or basket too.
Right. Yeah, good job by those. Okay, Chad, I think we're going to take our final commercial break and then get a hold of MJ Ewald during that time and talk to him about the Roscommon Bucks. You're listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio.
Hi, this is Bill Marsh Jr. Introducing the new eMarsh custom purchase experience at BillMarsh.com. eMarsh makes car buying fast and easy. Choose your vehicle and options, get an accurate trade-in value, calculate your monthly payment choices, and apply for credit. You can even schedule at-home or at-work test drives and deliveries. Start your eMarsh experience at BillMarsh.com. eMarsh. Welcome to easy. And thank you.
The Traverse City Record Eagle supports WCMU Public Radio in Traverse City with Total Access Record Eagle subscriptions. Total Access means home delivery of the printed paper, plus on-demand access to local and breaking news and other community publications online or on the app. Find out more at record-eagle.com/subscriptions or call 231-946-2187. That's 231-946-2187. The Traverse City Record Eagle proudly serves 13 counties in northwestern Lower Michigan.
Why do I feel like I'm talking to a duck, lizard, or emu going over my insurance policy? How many places do I have to call to make this make sense? The answer is one. One call to an independent insurance agency like Janssen Insurance is all you need. As an independent agent, we contract with multiple companies, so we can be sure to have the right option for you. Call Janssen Insurance at 989-348-6711 or send a quote request through janseninsurance.com. We look forward to working with you.
Laugh till it hurts at the Traverse City Comedy Club. National and regional comedians bringing the laughs every Friday and Saturday. Add in something delicious from their hearty menu, a specialty drink or your favorite brew, and you've got a great change to your old routine. See the season schedule and buy tickets at TraverseCityComedyClub.com or rent the club for your private event for up to 150 people. Traverse City Comedy Club on Garfield Avenue, where Northern Michigan goes for fun. Tune in to 101.1 WGRY from 10 to 11 for Destination NHL, brought to you by Cherry Capital Airport, TVC. Your Northern Michigan connection at tvcairport.com. 101.1 WGRY Up North Sports Radio.
Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio. Rich Calkins and Chad Patterson in studio with you. And now we're going to be talking to MJ Ewald, longtime coach of the Roscommon Bucks. MJ, it's been a long time since I've interviewed you. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. MJ, how many years? This is your final year. You told me that. How many years you been at
it? 36 total.
Wow. That's incredible. That's congratulations, MJ. And on a super high note here, you guys are on a 3-game winning streak, including that Thursday night win over a tough Pine River team.
Yeah, thanks. The kids are playing really well right now. We're really happy with our effort overall for both ends of the floor. But this is a good week for us, beating Everett on Tuesday. But like you said, Pine River, that's a big win for us. They beat us up pretty well down at their place before the holidays, and kids did a nice job.
Hey, Coach, this is Chad Patterson, the voice of Grayling Viking basketball, and I usually get to watch you play once a season, and we're going to miss you on the sidelines there, and hopefully your wonderful wife and your son are doing well. I miss working with her on a regular basis, but I want to know, like, this team that you got right now, you said you like the way they're playing. Like, are they senior laden? You got a lot of great leaders on your team, or are you a younger team this year?
We do have some really good senior leadership. Some of the 3 of the kids who are seniors have been on the varsity for 3 years.
They actually came up. Thank you for the comments about my wife and son. But they came up when my son was a sophomore, or excuse me, they were sophomores when my son was a freshman, and we needed them at that time. We needed them to step onto the varsity, and over the last 3 years, they've developed really well. Ben Hammond is our leading scorer right now, and he's one of the kids that came in as a sophomore and had to play right away. And he's developed his game really well. He had probably his best overall game as a Buck on Thursday night. But we were also getting some really good contributions from Mason Beaver and Mason Green. Beaver is a guard, Green is a forward. Greeny had his best game on Thursday night as well. And then they're doing an awesome job as seniors, just leading by example. And we also have Josh Karub, who's a senior, and had been in the program for 4 years, and is doing a great job as well. They're doing well talking in practice, talking in games, and that makes a huge difference. And then this team loves each other, and you can tell by the way they play. They get after it hard all the time.
MJ, you were there obviously when you guys played in the Jack Pine Conference, and now you're in the Highland Conference. What have you noticed as far as the differences between the two conferences in a basketball perspective?
The Highland, this is our 5th year in the Highland, and it's a physical league. It's not that the Jack Pine wasn't. The Highland just seems to be a little more so, and it's a rough go every night. We play McBain twice, who's ranked in the top 5 in the state. Pine River has a strong team this year. Beale is really good this year, but it's a physical league, and you got to be ready to get banged around a lot. And handle it well. And these kids have responded well to that.
Yeah, MJ, how does Coach Bruce Coltman there at McBain, how's he always find these big, tall 6'9" kids?
I have no stinking idea, but I wish he'd leave a couple of them home. They're obviously very well coached and well disciplined. We actually played them really tough at our place. They got us. Their height is, like you said, a little rough to contend with, but we played them pretty tough here. But yeah, I have no idea where they come from. I wish he'd send a couple more tall kids my way, but.
Hey, Coach, after 36 years, I mean, this is your last year coaching, and, we went through this a few years back with Coach Moffitt here in Grayling. And what do you what's the thing that you're reflecting on the most? I mean, you probably can't help, getting a little bit, nostalgic and stuff like that as you're on the sidelines, or maybe not. But I mean, is there like a certain lesson that you've learned, or a certain memory that keeps coming up in your head as you're coaching these last games?
It's actually, it might sound a little cheesy, but it's the kids that I'm able to work with. I started coaching actually at my old high school in Canton, Michigan, when I was 18, 19, and I'm still in contact with some of those guys now. Cool. And I was able to coach. I was able to coach girls basketball as well, and just you think back on all the kids who are now men and women and have their own families, and that does nothing to make me feel about 196 years old. But that's what I remember the most. Sure, there are games that I remember that that stand out, but mostly it's the kids, and that's the part I think that's going to be the hardest when it is done. Just not being with them every day. Regardless whether it was a team from, 1998 or a team from 2000 or this year's merry band of characters. That's the part that hits me every once in a while.
Sure.
Yeah, and I know you were worried about sounding cheesy, and I know you know me a little bit, Coach, but I've helped run a theater program for the last 15 years, so I'm probably the most emotional human being in the world. So when I have to say goodbye to my program, I'm probably going to be a human mud puddle. So you don't sound cheesy at all. I think that, in fact, I was guessing that you were going to say just the relationship you had with the kids over the years, and that's you didn't let me down. So
yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Now, MJ, you have already you've discussed it. You do have someone that's going to be taking over the program, and who is that?
His name's Michael Smutney. He actually came to us as a volunteer coach the year we came back after shutdown. So the year, so that would have been about 3-4 years ago. My son was a junior that year, and I worked with his mother-in-law, and he moved to the area, and she said, he's interested in helping coach, and he's originally from Saline, and he played at Lake State, so he brings a ton of energy, ton of basketball knowledge, and so he's a volunteer coach for a year, JV coach for a year, and then he and I co-coached the last 2 years, and it's worked out beautifully. We complement each other well. I joke with him and tell him that things work so well because he does what I tell him, but that's not the case at all.
Right.
It is a true collaboration. The only difference is he stands during games and I don't, but that's okay. That's how I want it. So, but no, it is a true collaboration, and he's going to do an amazing job.
Well, that's cool. That sounds like quite the succession plan there for sure. Well, you got the Bucks rolling, Coach. Best of luck next week against Pinconning and then against McBain, Northern Michigan Christian, and we'll get caught up with you here in a few weeks.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys having me on today. Thank you.
MJ Ewald, head coach.
Give your family the best.
Yeah, Ross Cummins.
I will. Thank you.
Great job, MJ. So.
Thank you.
Yep. So, Chad, MJ there, 36 years of coaching boys and girls basketball. That's a heck of a career.
And he's a great guy, great family. His son, Joel, great basketball player. Fun to watch. And I think I saw Joel hanging out with Dylan Craig and David Milliken last year at the marathon time. It was one of those deals. I hadn't seen him in a few years, and I was like, I think that's Joel Ewald, but I'm not sure. And those are two young men. If you're going to hang out with a couple guys from Grayling and you're a Buck, that's not a bad choice.
Not bad, no, not bad.
Two good kids. So yeah, but it was good to talk to him. I used to work pretty closely with his wife when I did my theater program in elementary schools, and just a great family.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And of course, you're going to miss the kids. You can think about games, but it's that day-to-day experience of being a mentor, being a coach, being a teacher.
Yeah, and you don't always realize the impact you have on kids' lives until later on when they come up to you 10, 20 years
with
later.
Their own kids.
And telling you things. You're like going, wow, that's pretty cool when you have those kind of impacts.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, but that's going to wrap things up for today. Now, don't forget to listen to Lions football over on Q100
Is it a big game? Big game tomorrow?
It's a big game.
3 o'clock?
There's a big game. What is that?
2 o'clock pregame and 3 o'clock kickoff.
Yep. So it's going to be a great day in the Motor City and throughout the great state of Michigan. So thanks for joining us here on the Bill Maher Scoreboard Show, and we'll see you right back here at 10 o'clock next Saturday.
This has been the Northern Michigan High School Sports Scoreboard Show, presented by Bill Marsh Automotive. Discover how easy car shopping can be. Join us next Saturday at 10 a.m. with host Rich Calkins. Nobody loves high school sports like Up North Sports Radio.
just hearing that gives me anxiety. That's tough.
Nuts. That's crazy. Like that, just having the little bubble pop up with how many unread, that would give me a lot of anxiety, I think, if I saw that. But like overall, I mean, I think it says.
How many of those emails do you think are offering him money? I mean, how many unclaimed checks? How many people offering him a nice job, or how many free steaks was he offered at nice steakhouses in the area that he just didn't even bother to open the email for?
That's true. A lot of Nigerian princes were offering him, a lot of wealth too. He just didn't open the email.
He should have. He missed out. All right, you got a game that you're excited about tomorrow. This is very weird for you, though. You don't know how to feel about this, I'm sure. It's not going to be at Arrowhead, so don't bother going there. I know this is a foreign concept for you, but you can occasionally. It can happen. It is possible. You can have a playoff game that isn't in your home stadium. You spoiled, rotten football fan, you. The Kansas City Chiefs are at the Buffalo Bills. Bills laying 2.5. They are clearing out the snow at Orchard Park as we speak, paying fans $20 an hour to go shovel snow. If you like the Chiefs, you can get them in a very rare twist in the playoffs at plus money here at plus 120. Buffalo's minus 145. Total in the game, 45.5 over at BetMGM.
Look, 15 playoff games, all been at home for Patrick Mahomes. So no doubt, definitely Chiefs fans have been spoiled. And, the 5 straight AFC title games have all been at home. They're trying to get to a 6th, and they'll know before kickoff if there's a chance that either the Bills or the Chiefs are hosting that AFC title game, depending on what happens in the Texans-Ravens game. And frankly, the conversation, Grant, this whole week on the Kansas City side, I can tell you, a lot of fans embracing the fact that they're underdogs. It's not a usual spot, as you said. Patrick Mahomes has only been a dog, 10 times. He's 8-1-1 against the spread, by the way, as an underdog, and certainly hasn't had to go on the road in the playoffs. And the fact that has been the story for a while for Buffalo Bills fans, that, hey, what happens when Patrick Mahomes has to come to their place? After they believe that is the difference, and we're going to find out on Sunday. And I think there's no doubt it's impactful to have a home playoff game, duh. However, the numbers would tell you that Mahomes has been better on the road. He's got a higher completion percentage, more yardage, virtually the same record. If you really want to go to QB win and loss record, it's almost identical. And so, he has elevated his game at times on the road. And fans here have embraced that fact that he's playing the villain role to a little bit. And that is going to be, I think, what brings a little of excitement and intrigue. This is the last real challenge that we haven't seen Mahomes go up against yet. But I love this matchup because there's just a lot on the line legacy-wise, too. We can get into the specific bet if you wanted a second. I apologize. But I just think there's a lot of legacy impact for this game for Josh Allen as well. He's 0-2 against Mahomes in the playoffs. And if not this year, then when? And the fact that it's in his backyard. And I do think there is a such thing as a tough mental hurdle to clear. If you don't get past them this go-around, then win for Buffalo. You don't have Joe Burrow this go-around. This time you get Mahomes in your backyard. And so I think there is a massive feeling around this game that if the Bills don't win it this time around, then they got to have a little bit of a half reset with what they've been doing organizationally.
I'll answer your rhetorical question, which didn't necessarily ask for one. But you said then when, and I would say when the deck's not stacked against you a little bit. I think I might surprise you here because I actually am on the Chiefs in this game. And I've been Buffalo Bill for the last, 10 weeks. If you remember, the week of the Sean McDermott fiasco, I called that they would win out and win the division. And I'm not patting myself on the back as much as I am saying I've been on this team all year. I think they lose at home to Kansas City. Number one, they have 2 fewer days rest. That has only happened once in the history of the playoffs. And I don't know why, but people are not talking enough about that this week nationally.
Yep.
I really haven't heard it that much. I think it's the biggest deal. Like, we could give you a million different, trends, and we could give you this stat against this defense. The fact that they have 2 fewer days of rest at the end of a football season is massive. I don't think there's anything that could be bigger to me. So that's number one. The Chiefs played on Saturday. The Bills played on Monday, and they weren't supposed to. They were supposed to play Sunday. 1 day of rest, by the way. The numbers still skew heavily for the extra rested team. Even, I thought they would benefit from the schedule the way it was set up to begin with. But, meaning Kansas City, not Buffalo. Then they had to move the game a day. I think it's a fiasco for the Bills. That's number one. Number two, they are massively injured. They have barely putting a secondary together at this point. I mean, they are really, really banged up. Now, you're not going to like this, but that's okay. Just enjoy your playoff wins and your Super Bowls and deal with it. The Chiefs are living a very charmed existence right now. They got the Dolphins last week when the Dolphins were playing a bunch of mid-30s pass rushers and signing guys off the street. Very, very lucky, fortuitous matchup. Worked out. Now they get the Bills. And if the Bills win, I'll give them all the credit in the world. And Sean McDermott mixing potions, and it's one of those magical carpet rides where nothing matters. But 2 days extra rest plus the most injured team in the playoffs for the second week in a row, the Bills shouldn't win this game. So I don't really get the line. I think it's just that it's a great environment. It's home. So you even though you don't really catch 3 points at home typically anymore in the playoffs, maybe it skews a little more. But I happen to think the Chiefs are going to win the game outright. I've got them on the money line, and I just don't get why people aren't talking more about the injuries in and of themselves. A big deal.
Sure.
But 2 days of rest in the playoffs is massive. So the stars are aligning here, and Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are living the charmed life. I mean, we can make it this like, oh, they're got to go on the road. This is the defining moment. Kind of. I mean, they also are 48 hours better rested, and they're playing a team that's signing a bunch of practice squad players to be on the active roster. But the Bills are still good, don't get me wrong, and it'll still be a good football game.
So a couple things. I don't disagree with you about the rest. We've definitely talked about it here locally, and I would agree with you that it doesn't get talked about enough nationally. We've talked about it a lot because going into the playoffs, the Chiefs had the fewest rests for 7 straight weeks of any team in the NFL. So trust me, it's something that we have acknowledged and talked about down the stretch of the season. They certainly are the beneficiary of it. I don't want to call them excuses because they are true. I was laughing as you were talking, though, coming from the Kansas City side, just because it seems like we've already got the built-in excuses. The poor Buffalo Bills, 13-second drive, got to trade, change the overtime rules. Now, last year, the unfortunate circumstance with Damar Hamlin, that would have been the year they would have been the number 1 seed and got home field advantage. This year, poor Buffalo, because they don't have a damn dome, the game got moved a couple of days. So it's just kind of funny. I'm smirking a little bit here listening to you talk. Some of it is true. Some of it's funny that we've already got the excuses.
Stop me when I say something that's not true, though. Okay?
No,
Feel free to stop me.
The rest is true. The rest is true. The injuries are true. I would also argue it's the NFL. The Chiefs just happen in this point in time to be one of the healthiest teams in the NFL. You can call it luck, whatever you want, but they happen to be in this spot. I also do believe, not surprisingly to you, that the Chiefs are in a phenomenal spot heading into this game. And I do believe Patrick Mahomes is going on the road and going to win. And it's going to be devastating for Buffalo Bills fans because this was their moment. This was their chance. You said, what if and what happens next? You said next time they'll play, the cards won't be stacked against them. That's all I've been hearing when they've been playing the Chiefs in the playoffs for the last 3 years, Grant, is that, oh, man, the Chiefs got lucky. This game was at Arrowhead. Now it's at home, and we're saying the home field advantage, as in the weather, is actually screwing the Buffalo Bills. So it's just very rich for me to hear that. That's all.
Yeah, well, again, the Chiefs fan in you is coming out a little bit. It's allowed to. The past, I don't know what to tell you. That's not my fight. I don't remember 2 years ago, the poor Chiefs. I do think that the overtime rules are dumb. I think 2 things can be true. You can find it funny if you want. Both teams should touch the football in overtime. I believe that. So if that's funny, then laugh. I'm Dave Chappelle all of a sudden. That's number 1. Number 2, the Damar Hamlin thing sucked for the Bills. That's also true. They probably could have been the 1 seed. I won't spend a lot of time on because it is what it is. It happened. But this particular instance, it's nobody's fault, but I'm just an outsider who likes an NFC team looking at this matchup. And when you have to move your game a day, and you already were playing a day after a team, and now you have, 5 days rest, and they have 7 or whatever, 8 versus 6 or whatever it is. I don't even know. But it's two fewer days. That's a big deal. So we don't need to get into. I really don't want to ruffle your feathers too much by getting into Sean Hockley, the official in this game, and the Chiefs being 8-2.
That's another dumb storyline.
8-2 during the Mahomes era with Hockley, 2-0 in the playoffs. The Bills on the road, on the other hand, have gotten 40 penalties for 347 yards called against them under Hockley. I actually think that's dumb as well. Like the Chiefs people do this bit where they're like, What's their record with this ref? The Chiefs win at 1. They win at 4. They win at 7. They win at home.
Mahomes wins at an 80% clip anyway. Yeah.
Exactly. So that one is dumb. So I'm not trying to ruffle your feathers. But I do think, honestly, like legitimately, shtick aside, that as a person just looking at this game from the outside, 100%, it is a bad situation for Buffalo going into this game. It is football, so you deal with injuries. Guess what? The Dolphins had to deal with them. They're home now. They're golfing in Miami. So, the Chiefs, in my opinion, are it's okay. Just accept that they get some good fortune every now and then and continue your era of playoff success. You shouldn't defend yourself or get upset. You should just enjoy it and sip on your champagne and eat your caviar.
All right, let's talk about in the game, because I do think there's some interesting things here, like how this game could play out and how it impacts betting. And, if you're looking at the injuries, you're 100% correct. I mean, that's the area where if the Chiefs can protect Patrick Mahomes, I do believe they're going to have plenty of success in the passing game. But I am concerned. You've talked about the Chiefs tackles as well from afar. And last week was not a game where Juwan Taylor, the Chiefs right tackle, or their left tackle, Donovan Smith, were tested. And I think there is reason to be a little worried going on the road, going in the environment, having to go silent. Juwan Taylor is the most penalized offensive lineman in football, one of the most penalized players in football, period, the last couple of years. And how does he handle that? Are we going to see a bunch of false starts? And so I do think that's one area. Can Rousseau and then Ed Oliver, can they take advantage of the Chiefs tackles? I think that is a key matchup in this game. The other one just seems obvious. Anytime we're talking about what decides games, it's the turnovers. And both these quarterbacks, who's not turning the ball over? We know Josh Allen's more prone to. Patrick Mahomes has had more this year than he has had in his career. Both quarterbacks, not shockingly, when they don't turn the ball over, Grant, their teams win their games. So if we want to dumb down this thing a little bit, which of the two quarterbacks is not turning the ball over? And I truly think that at the end of the game, if we look and Allen had 2 turnovers and Mahomes had none, I think there's no way the Bills win. If Mahomes turns it over twice and Josh Allen doesn't turn it over at all, the Bills probably win this game.
Yeah, and so I would look at that as a huge storyline, and I would say one of them's playing a really good defense and the other isn't. Buffalo's defense, by the way, has played way better than I think it probably should have, and I give McDermott all the credit in the world, but they continue to deal with injuries, and it gets harder and harder and harder, whereas the Chiefs' defense is just flat out good. I mean, they've allowed out 16.7 points per game during the regular season. They only allowed 7 points in the wild card round to an exceptional, brilliant, elite offense. So, I mean, this is an outstanding defense. It's a big, big challenge for Josh Allen, in my opinion. The weirdest trend I saw, by the way, leading into this game was that in games after the Bills don't turn the ball over. So, like, Josh Allen does a good job. He doesn't throw any bad picks, doesn't fumble, whatever. He goes into the next game. It's almost like he takes this breath of fresh air, and he's like, okay, I'm fine now. 13-8-2 against the spread the next week. Kind of a quirky number that I saw. He's Alex Gold. I'm Grant Paulson. Countdown to BetQL and CBS Sports Radio, presented by BetMGM. Let's take a look at some of our favorite totals this weekend in these 4 playoff games next.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning. Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Offices in Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Paid for by Cordell & Cordell.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-473-0864. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-473-0864 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-473-0864.
The weather is brought to you by Consumers Energy. Change is more reliable energy for homes and businesses across Michigan. Consumers Energy knows keeping the lights on is job number one. From tree trimming and burying lines to new technology, they have